Hello there. I am continuing my devlog with Project Vultura. It is currently August 29th. It is almost, well, it's actually 2 a.m. right now. Um, I think I did quite a lot in this next update, although you might not really notice any problems at all. Um, so in this devlog update, I'll probably give an overview of basically what I've been working on and kind of the differences between, previous and this time. And I might also talk about some ways I will improve the code base, and also a question I've been pondering forever on how to handle certain things. I may have solved some problems. There's still a lot of things I do not understand about what I'm doing with this, but whatever. We'll go through everything one by one. So I have a list here of basically all the things that I kind of did. I hope it's literally everything, but I don't think so. Um, anyway, so starting off, some behind the scene things that I've done. I have refactored the controller and ship movement code. So basically, previously it was kind of poorly done, but the way Unreal Engine kind of not really expects, but it's just a good practice, is to keep controller code and things that you're going to be handling as a controller separate from like pawns and things, because pawns can also be controlled by AI and so forth, and it's a good idea to kind of split them so that the AI can still use like movement code if they need to. So this, I basically refactored the controller and ship movement code to kind of split that between the two. Um, Also, I modified the way ship pawns work. So just for people who don't understand, pawns are basically anything that can be controlled by either an AI or a player, such as pawns. So previously, the way ship pawns worked was there was a base ship, and then every pawn would be taken as a mesh, and the mesh would be basically attached onto the pawn. So it would basically use one pawn, but switching out the 3D model. Now I've made it such that every pawn so every ship has its own pawn class, obviously deriving from base pawn. But the reason why this is done is because you could do a couple of things. So for one, if I have turret sockets, right? For example, ships will have turrets. I can place turret sockets on the pawns and design them that way, so that they're per pawn. Thus, whenever I need to, I could just spawn the pawn rather than having a mesh. And a mesh alone is not really useful. You'd want the mesh to be some sort of like pawn or actor, so that you can place like turrets and stuff on that. If that makes any sense. So now that's the way it works. The ship pawns are themselves. They're not just meshes. They're entire pawns that can be structured to work in the way that I need them. This also works for animations and making these meshes more than meshes, basically. So that's going to be really good for the future. Um, Now, next is I have an actual inventory. So let's start going into actually what you can see kind of differently in the game. So I think the only thing right now that you can see initially that's different is pricing. So I'm actually going to get to all of that in a bit, because there's some really cool stuff that I did implement. So first of all, we've got ship inventory. If you hit I, you get your ship inventory. Now, this does not look very good. Please bear with me. I'm just trying to template things out. I think I might have shown this last. I think this was done uh, last time, but I can't remember. But this is, not the greatest looking inventory. However, and also cargo doesn't work. That's something I need to get working. Spoiler alert. But so the idea is, though, you've got, basically a limited number of slots. This is actually a scroll box that can scroll down. But the idea is you will only be limited by your cargo. If you take an item, you can actually drag it around. This is really cool. If you place it somewhere else, it doesn't work. It comes back. I'm gonna make it such that if you do this, you can dispose of it. Then we've also got this too. And also, if I want, I can also switch them. So if I take this chain gun and I go onto this bullet, it switches them both. So that's really cool. All right, so that is ship inventory. There's some things I need to obviously handle. I need to handle stack splitting, and I need to handle maybe hovering over will tooltip things, dropping only specific items and stuff like that. That's kind of like how I want to do. I want to kind of make this inventory system very robust and very easy to use, but that will obviously come with time. But yeah, so that is ship cargo done. So what is next? Ability to store and retrieve ships. So I don't think that was actually done last time. So if I go to the ship, this basically looks the same. I don't remember if this was actually there, but there is a ship inventory now. There is inventory here. I can't remember what was done last time and this time, because some things aren't exactly. Oh yeah, no, okay, this is new. So yeah, station inventory. You can see your inventory now here as well. And if we want, so we can go to ship storage and item storage. So let's check some things out here first. So first off, when you click on your ship, you switch your ship, your inventory changes. Obviously, this is a new ship. Obviously, the ship has different top speeds and things like that. It's actually, the ship is much slower. If you hit I, your inventory is different as well. As you saw, the inventory changed on impact as well. So if we go back to our omen, we'll see that we have a bullet and a chain gun. These are the two items that we have right now. So if we take this bullet, we can actually, and currently, again, no stack splitting, no anything, but you can still just take an item, move it directly to your inventory on the station. I'm not really planning limits to how much items you can have in your station. I want it to be very freeform. I want it to be easy to use and access and have fun with. So, yeah, but basically this will send it there. Now, obviously, we'll just check again. There we go. We have one item in our inventory now. And if we go to ship storage, we can grab our Zenith and drag our chain gun into the Zenith's inventory. And now look, our Zenith has inventory. So that's really cool now. We basically have ship inventory that works. It's very fluid, honestly, though I think I'm still going to be remodifying the UI entirely, but even for testing purposes, this is very quick to do, right? I want to throw this in the omen, so I can literally just grab this, throw here, and boom, right there. I want to bring you there. Very quick, very seamless. It works, and check again, bullet. So yeah, station inventory works, switching between ships works. That's great. What else is there? Okay, this is really cool. So this is probably one of the coolest things that I have actually built. We have there's basically the rest of the things I have to talk about. There's basically one really big feature that I added to this. So I'm going to stop real quick and I'm going to start again. So let's talk about station markets. So obviously in space games, a big thing is trading and markets and how markets work. I don't remember if I got the market actually working the last time I showed you guys. If I did, there's a lot more that was added. So first thing we can do is we hit T, and you can see very basic market overview. As you notice, there are different values, right? So you could buy fresh food from Bob's Station for 18, and you can sell it to Bob's Station for 12. Miner's Galleon, you can buy it for 13, sell it for 9, blah, blah, blah. However, we'll notice here is, sorry, I was thinking of something. But the idea is this is all based on a supply and demand model. It's a very simple model that isn't really the greatest, but the idea is, and we're going to kind of get into it, but you'll notice they're all the same. But once Miner's Galleon runs out of resources or is in demand of something, then the price changes for fresh food to be more because that is a more in-demand item. These both, right now, for testing purposes, these both actually are, they both basically take 37 as the base price, and then they are fluctuating around that base price. So if we go into the station, we can see that you'll notice that we have, you can buy bullets, and there is 0 fresh food. Now I put quantity as 0 for now, just because whenever something's in demand, they're never going to want to sell you the item, but they will want to buy the item off of you. So when an item's in demand, this will basically happen, right? Where you'll basically have 0 quantity, 0 price. I don't actually know. I don't really have this. I think you could probably buy, and it probably would work, but when an item's in demand, it only checks your inventory. So there's a lot of things I have to fix here. I want to clean this up, but the general idea, just to stop rambling on, is the inventory. So let's start from the beginning, actually. So stations produce items, right? Now, whenever a station produces an item, they also consume another number of items. Basically, every production tick, it's called, and a station will produce, but they will also consume. So, for example, an ammo factory, if you will produce 5 bullets per 10 fresh food consumed. Now, when I think it's when it takes through less than or equal to 3 ticks. Um, less than or equal to 3 ticks before they run out. It will put that item in demand. When an item's in demand, it will take the base sell price or the base buy price, and then they will buy it from you for the base buy price plus 30% of that price. So it'll always be a consistently above market, right? I may increase it more, but that's generally, the template idea. And you cannot buy from them, or the idea is you can't buy in-demand items from them. And this kind of builds the basis of trading. So I'm going to restart just so that we get a base thing again. So this kind of shows you exactly what there is. Now, when we go to, so let's do some basic trading, right? So we know that fresh food's in demand, right? We just know that because the price is more, whatever the case is. There's obviously going to be a lot more information when I build this feature out fully, or better, I guess, or better UI. But the idea is that we know that this item's in demand. We're like, shit, we got to get to this item really fast to grab it before, I guess, someone else could grab it or they stop being in demand. I'm going to set some things up for that. So I'm going to run to this station. I'm still really bad at piloting my ship. And I'm going to grab fresh food. Please don't go too far away. I might run too far away, but I'm going to buy 14 fresh food. So I bought 14 fresh food, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go up like this, and then I'm going to switch to find the particular item, particular guy, or station, I guess, if you will. I've got this item in my cargo, fresh foods in my cargo. Again, you can switch items as you will. And we're going to get to this station. And I'm going to slowly work my way to them without hitting them. I need to make this trigger so much bigger. But okay, once you get the items, you have 14 fresh food in your inventory. Now you can take this, and it's only going to go up to the max how much you have. And then you simply just hit the sell button. Oh, that not work. Am I going crazy? There we go. Okay, it did work. I don't know what I did wrong. Anyway, as you can see, I made a couple bucks. And, if you wanted to, right, like, you can go to the station again. You could buy them all out, and you can see how much money you can make off of that. And that is the idea behind supply and demand. Now, I don't think I actually have this set up to take an item out of demand, but yeah, because I actually don't add to the stockpile when you sell. So I still have some work to do in that regard. But bottom line is, this is really cool, and I am really proud of this kind of system. So I'm going to flesh this out further, but this is awesome. So if I want to buy, I'll buy fresh food. Sorry, yeah, and I'll buy all of it. Oh, I need to fix this too. This is really bad. Oh no! Get up there. There we go. And then we purchase. We literally have all the fresh food. And that was honestly nothing. That was crazy. That's like worth nothing. Maybe I should. Yeah, I'm gonna have to handle how fucking money works in this game too. Like, there's a lot of cool things that I want to work on, but yeah, this is generally how this is gonna work. Okay, let's just sell this to Miner's Galleon, and then I'm going to kind of talk about the future of basically coming up with some ideas for how I'm gonna handle ships doing their own thing when you're not kind of there, because that's been a big kind of brainstorming part of what I've done. So we go to fresh food. We're going to sell all of them, and look, we made so much money off of that. Like, I think that's so cool. Hey, we can trade now. Like, trading work. That's awesome. I'm just really happy with how that came out. So, but all right. So now that that's basically done, we got through kind of everything that has been created in this this update, I guess, if you will, this devlog. Let's talk about kind of what I've been thinking about doing in the future regarding ships and kind of what they're doing. So I've been talking to a lot of people using the forums, and using a couple of my friends are pretty good at this kind of stuff, and I've been kind of bouncing ideas around. So the general idea is that I would like ships to kind of be kind of doing their own things when they're not present in the world, right? That means that they'll always be in memory, they'll always be moving around, but only as data. Now, when a ship jumps from like system to system, when it's in your system, the idea is that you should be able to see the ship. But once it jumps out of your system, it doesn't care. Like, it doesn't matter where it is, you will not be able to see it, it will not load in. However, that ship should be consistent where if you're following a ship, you can follow a ship to its destination. That's what you should be able to do. So there were many ideas that I've thought about. Someone actually brought up the idea that I'm going to probably stick with. Trying to figure out multi-threading in Unreal Engine. Now, it is possible, and there are videos on it, so this is probably what I'm going to be doing. But the idea is that ships are going to basically be constantly calculated in this multi-threaded environment to where there's always going to be these calculators in the background, but you're never going to have performance drops because of it. And then only when, like, the multi-threading is going to stop when you load to then grab people that are in different sectors and bring them over, basically. And following that, that's basically how I'm thinking of handling ships kind of loading and unloading, and so forth. It's kind of complex. I have no idea how I'm going to pull this off, but I am very determined to get this game kind of off the ground and in a working state. But until then, I'm going to be developing a lot of things in one star system, this star system basically. I'm still got a lot of work to do generally with a lot of other stuff, like even ship builds and combat I got to work on. But yeah, that's basically it. So anyway, I know these videos are very rambly, but I'm just kind of here just trying to, keep track of what I've done each time. But anyway, yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.